we've got one more thing for you, and it's to talk to Wolfe himself and congratulate him for becoming our new Players' Cup 2 champion. We have the Players' Cup 2 champion, Wolfe Glick, with us. First off, I want to say, Wolfe, congratulations on the win. What a great birthday present.
Yeah, no kidding. It was definitely, waking up that morning, going into the day, I was a little bit like, it'd be great if I was able to win this on my birthday, but also like, I don't know. I didn't want like if I lost for it to set the tone, starting my birthday off just going, maybe 0-2 in games and kind of ending it there. So it was a really, really nice start to the day. I don't think I could have asked for a better way to begin it.
Well, let's go back to the very beginning of your journey when you were getting ready for the Players' Cup. What was your mentality like going into the tournament, and what were you kind of expecting to come out of this?
For the finals, I felt like, for the global finals at least, I felt like there was a lot of things that were going to be difficult to deal with, and I knew that it was going to be a pretty different set of teams than what I might have encountered in the regional bracket. It felt like a lot about the game had changed. For example, Pokemon like Spectrier were picking up in popularity, the Sun archetype was picking up in popularity as well, and a number of other things. And also just because it was players from different regions tend to favor different playstyles in general, and I don't know. I felt like there was such a wide variety of things that I could play against that it was going to be difficult to narrow in on any one thing. It felt like there was a whole bunch of viable options for this tournament.
Well, let's talk about that. I'm really glad that you brought that up because you did change your team from the region finals into the global finals. For the region finals, you had a team of Galarian Moltres, Glastrier, Regieleki, Dusclops, Tapu Fini, and Kartana. And for the global finals, you were using that Colossal, which had a standout performance in Players' Cup 1. What was your decision behind bringing that particular Pokemon?
For the regional bracket, I was thinking, this is a new metagame. We hadn't been playing for very long at all. The format had only recently changed. The Crown Tundra had only recently come out, and so it was going in. People were still kind of figuring out what was good, what they liked, what was bad, what maybe like looked good but was bad, what looked bad but was good. And so since there was so much uncertainty, I wanted a team that I was confident that all the Pokemon on it were good Pokemon, and I think that influenced a lot of my team building decision there. I just kind of brought what many players refer to as like a good stuffs team, just like a bunch of good Pokemon all stuck together. Pokemon like Tapu Fini, which offer really good variance control. Pokemon like Dusclops, which is just like an amazing bulky Pokemon. But for the global finals, the metagame had settled a little bit more, and I wanted something that was a little bit more aggressive. I wanted something with a bit more of a set strategy. It's actually kind of funny because going into the global finals, I also wanted consistency, and so I said to myself, okay, Dusclops and Tapu Fini are the two most consistent Pokemon. I want them to be on my team no matter what. But it turned out that whenever I started with Dusclops, Tapu Fini, I just ended up with something that looked like my regional bracket team, and so I ended up moving away from that. And I've always liked Colossal. I was kind of inspired to use Colossal because I won the April International Challenge way back in, April, with it, and it's a Pokemon that I really like because I think that so many people look at it and they see it as a very one-dimensional Pokemon. They look at it and they think, okay, they're going to lead Colossal, and their water-type, attacker, Surf or Aqua Jet, and they're just going to always Gigantamax turn 1 and go from there. And because of that, I think that people don't realize that it's actually a really interesting, really complex Pokemon that's very difficult to use. You don't have to go for it right away. You don't even have to lead it. Like, there have been times where I brought Colossal in the back, and it's been really good. And so not only is it a Pokemon I like, I thought it was a Pokemon that was really strong, and I thought it's a Pokemon that many people didn't respect as much as they should have because of how powerful it is, but also because of how people tend to play it in a rather linear way. And I also thought it would be just generally kind of underestimated going into the tournament, and I liked it. So there was a whole slew of factors, but I decided just to kind of test it out, and it felt super strong, so I just kind of went with it, kind of ran with it from there.
We were appreciating the flexibility that you did bring to that Colossal pick, sometimes leading with it, sometimes bringing it in the back, and maneuvering around the Pokemon really, really well. And we got a really long chance to be able to see this actually happen because you got put into the losers bracket really, really early. In winners round number 2, you played against David Carrere. So, what was it like having to go through that long slog of the losers bracket and then finally get a chance to have a piece of that revenge in the grand finals?
It was really stressful. I'm not gonna lie. The thing about the global finals is that I think that everyone here had the opportunity, like had the chance to win the tournament. You know, I think if we play this tournament 100 times, I think that everyone wins at least a couple times. You know, and what that means is that all your opponents are really good, really smart. They're making good choices, and they're the cream of the crop, so to speak. And so to have to play against more of those opponents and more of the rounds, it was really, really tiring, really stressful. And it was also I had to make sure that I kind of maintain my focus, maintain my mental game, so to speak, because my set against David, when I was sent into the losers bracket, there was definitely some variance involved. There were sleep turns. There was a pretty influential critical hit in both game 1 and game 2 where maybe without the crit I could have, I would have been in a better spot at the very least. And so, I'm in this position where I was sent down into the losers bracket against a tough matchup, against a good opponent, and I also had gotten maybe a little unlucky. And so kind of having to have the fortitude to stay sharp, stay focused, and not let it fluster me. It was really hard, but it was also very rewarding to have kind of made it through all of that and come out on top.
Were there any specific moments that you can recall where you felt like your back was against the wall?
Yeah, unfortunately there were quite a few, not gonna lie. I think the biggest one was in my set versus Jean-Paul. I was in a position where I frankly, I think I probably should have lost the set, or maybe I should say it was game 3, and I kind of had fumbled a little bit turn 1, and I was in a tricky situation where, because of the move that I made turn 1, I had a sleeping Pokemon immediately out of the gates, and I effectively needed a one-turn sleep in order to even, maybe without a one-turn sleep I still could have done something, but it didn't feel that way, and I honestly don't think so. And I was very fortunate, and I got the one-turn sleep, which is only a 1 in 3 chance of happening. And yeah, without that, I think I probably should have lost. And so there were other moments where my back was against the wall, and I kind of felt like I had to play really well in order to get out of it, or I had to make smart calls. There were a number of those where I felt like my decision would lead to my win or my defeat, depending on what I chose to do. However, I think that was the one that stands out the most because it didn't feel like it was in my control. It wasn't a situation where I chose right and I won, or I chose wrong and I lost. It was a situation where my Pokemon woke up and I was still in the game, or my Pokemon took a nap and it was, probably a 3rd place finish for me. So I think out of everything, that one stands out the most.
Well, you made it through. Your mental fortitude, your incredible, impressive play, and everything else to get you to the grand finals through 4 games, no less, in a row, to be able to take home the champion now makes you the only player to have run the gambit, Wolfe. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it feels good. I feel like for me, I guess the best way to say it is that, I play Pokemon because I like playing Pokemon, if that makes sense. I guess it makes sense, right? It's a straightforward answer, but I think for me, I just focus on winning each individual game, right? Each individual set, each individual game, and then if I win the tournament, that's great too. But yeah, when I was I forgot there were prizes for this, when I made top 4, someone was like, oh yeah, don't you win a travel awards in the next thing? And I was like, oh yeah, I do. I totally forgot. And so yeah, I think for me, the titles are nice, and being the only player to have won every level of event, every regional, national, international, worlds, Premier Challenge, Mid-Season Showdown, now Players Cup, online I see it's definitely validating. It definitely makes me feel okay, I've made my mark in this game. I have a claim to being one of the best players, but also it's I tend to think about things more just in the individual instance. This tournament win means a lot to me because I felt like I really had to work hard and I played well and I'm proud of that, less so than now maybe you could argue I'm the 3rd or the 2nd best player, or maybe some people would say I'm the best. That's not really how I think about it. I'm just trying to win every tournament I can, and that's kind of its own reward for me.
Well, it's clear you worked very hard to get this champion title. Congratulations once again, Wolfe, and thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic to hear from Wolfe and hear his thoughts about how the Players' Cup 2 went, and also what it means to get that win for the Players' Cup 2.